Context. Emily Dickinson was very religious and seemed to believe in the afterlife. Many of her poems are either about dying, death, or what happens after death. She had a very cool, calm, and collected attitude towards the subject. The poems are creepy, but the speakers in her poems are rarely spooked by the bleak scenes. She was famous for her seemingly random capitalization of various nouns, and for her use of dashes in her poems. The overall message of the poem is that every human life ends, but this inevitable end will not be painful, but comfortable, and should be embraced rather than feared. The title suggests that the speaker is too busy to the point of avoiding death, so death reminded her that he exists and stops her. The first line suggests a frantic level of busy. Personifying death could show that death is meant to be a comfort here. Kindly is a surprising word choice, as it portrays death as loving. A carriage suggests royalty, kindness, care, and glamour, very much like a date. This line suggests that every death is personal, a personal moment and journey. The intimacy contradicts typical notions of death. Slowly and civility make death sound loving and kind. My is a possessive pronoun. It could suggest putting everything away for God and death. This line suggests a busy life, and death may have brought a welcome pause. The persona is discarding human concerns like work, hobbies, and day-to-day concerns. This stanza shows a three-stage life cycle. School represents childhood, grain represents maturity, as sun is symbolic of life, setting sun could represent death. It suggests the end of something, such as a day or life. It is a relaxed reflection on life. Children are people who are just starting out in life and seeing things for the first time. Fields and grain are places of work and toil that affect people later in life, in adulthood. The word past is repeated 3 times. Past could mean death and the passage of time. It is repeated once for each of the 3 stages of life. The author writes "we passed," showing that the speaker is not alone because God or death is with her. A ring of children is symbolic of death. The author uses pastoral imagery, and in romantic poetry, nature means being closer to God. As Dickinson was religious, it could show how we return to God upon death. There is an important shift here. Prior to the stanza, the persona and death were people, and the sun was something else. Now the sun is also a person equal to the speaker and death. The persona has died. The setting sun passing them could mean that she passed into the afterlife. Quivering and chill could mean that she wasn't prepared to die. Gossamer gown, tippet, and tulle could represent her burial clothes or her shroud. We is a collective pronoun, suggesting that death is not lonely. A house is a living space for a body, a place for life. It could be a metaphor for her grave and symbolic of warmth, security, a home. Roof could represent heaven. She's dead but not quite in heaven yet. A swelling of the ground is nature imagery. It could mean returning to nature's womb upon death. All of the above happened in one day. This stanza starts a new time period, Centuries is an incredible amount of time. The speaker has been in the carriage for hundreds of years, but it feels shorter than the day described. These feelings of calm ease and pleasant relaxation add to the overall message about death. Structure. The use of caesura shows the passing and slowing of time. The poem is written in common meter or hymn meter, perhaps showing that she is calm and comfortable. However, some inconsistencies show her unpreparedness and uncertainty. This poem has no constant rhyme scheme, perhaps meaning that she is unprepared for death, or that there are many uncertainties in death. However, the words me, immortality, civility, and eternity do rhyme. Tone. At the beginning, the tone is comfortable and intimate, as she begins the journey in the carriage and isn't afraid of death like one would normally be. There is a change of tone between the third and fourth stanza. As they pass the setting sun, it becomes colder and darker. It hints that she was not as prepared as she could have been, or not ready to die yet. However, the tone remains positive, suggesting it doesn't matter for her. In the last stanza, there's a tone of realization when she surmised that she was heading towards eternity. Themes. Death. Excluding the overall message of the poem, this theme can also be seen in the number of words which connote death. Mortality. The speaker accepts death and human mortality, and is not afraid of either. Immortality. The poem tells us that death is not the end, but a step closer to eternity. Spirituality. The speaker is a ghost, meaning a belief in some sort of afterlife. Dickinson was very religious, and did seem to believe in the afterlife. However, specific religious references have been left out.